When I coach people just starting out in their careers, I often share with them that feedback should be considered a gift. I define feedback as a conversation or information which helps to affirm or adjust performance. Yet, despite numerous positive intentions, feedback is viewed often as criticism. Why do we have this negative reaction to feedback? Why are we so defensive? Well, it's because of the tension between two conflicting human needs. One, the need to grow and develop, and two, the need to be accepted just as you are. Feedback provides an excellent foundation for improving your performance. When you embrace its value and you're known as a person who acts upon it, you can be sure that feedback will accelerate your career. What is the difference between feedback that one receives in the workplace versus on campus?
When we're students, we get lots of feedback through exams, through tests. In the workplace, there are many different perspectives. My team leader, my coworkers, my clients, they can all have different expectations and different ways of evaluating me.
So Mike, what would be your tips in helping people to get the feedback that they need to make a difference in their careers?
I think the best way to get feedback is to ask for it. Not to wait, not to hope for it, but to ask and really invite and give people permission to give you feedback.
Well, there may be opportunities when you ask for feedback and you may not like what you hear.
Sometimes we just hear the word feedback and it triggers reactions, right? We feel like we have to defend ourselves in some way.
When that happens, you have to take a deep breath, center yourself, acknowledge what you're feeling, and then decide, can you move on with an objective conversation? If you can't, give yourself permission to maybe say, can I take a moment and we can come back to this conversation a little later?
Giving ourselves some space to digest and really listen and take in what the other person is saying.
The next step is asking questions, get a better understanding of what that person has observed. You may say to someone, can you give me specific examples? Then that allows for you to further clarify and get underneath of the behavior or actions.
I think it's a great idea to reach out to others. Someone you trust, and you can simply ask, have you ever seen this in me? Help me make sense of it.
So you're reaching out for perspectives.
Exactly. Because maybe I do have a blind spot. Maybe there is something I'm missing.
Well, once you've become aware of that blind spot, you are really activating your potential because you're at a place where you can continue to grow.
Yeah, feedback builds our self-awareness, and ultimately we've got to be able to translate that openness and that curiosity, the asking for feedback, to action. When others see that we're open and that we value their perspective, it really puts us in a position to grow, to develop, and continue to get better.
Absolutely. We all know that feedback is important, but how do you go about asking for it?
I think you have to be proactive feedback.
Right. Tell me more about that.
You can't sit back and say, all right, well, if I'm working with Julie, I'm saying, well, Julie will tell me at some point how I'm doing, and it's...
I may. You have to ask the questions, the specific questions. I'm doing a great job. Okay, what did I do well at? You have to dig deep.
I had a situation for a while, I was getting some feedback that you're coming across as tentative and not confident, and I didn't get it. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm super confident. My clients love me. And I went and talked to a few people, sponsors and mentors that I trust.
Early on in my career, in my first year, I heard that I didn't take advantage of the opportunities that were given to me, which is like,
whoa.
Are you kidding? I didn't even know what she was talking about.
So what did you do about it?
I asked more questions. I was able to go back and talk to her and understand why she was coming from that perspective. And now going forward, I make sure the people that I work with know that I want those opportunities. I want more responsibility. I'm gonna take what you give me and run with it.
So when you get feedback and you have a strong reaction to it because you say in your core, this is not me, what do you do?
The very first thing you do is reevaluate, right? How are you presenting yourself in a way that they're actually perceiving that?
If you are feeling a certain emotion, give yourself time just to step back and be upset. You have that right. And once you calm down, you can say, all right, how am I going to approach this?
Like, take a deep breath and just acknowledge that this is business. It's not really a personal thing.
One time I didn't agree with the feedback. It bothered me, and the next day I went and talked to the person and laid out the reasons as to why I didn't agree, and the person was like, actually, you raised some good points. I hadn't seen it from your perspective.
I received specific feedback regarding me being very process-oriented, and while I think that serves a number of clients very well, you do have to sometimes just step back and evaluate. You can't just, steamroll in, and I think that my intention was good, but I really had to stop and just say, wow, have I had my head in the sand too long and I'm just not realizing what I'm doing?
Well, feedback will help us bring out a different tool.
Now I'm very conscious of when I'm talking, I try to not say things like I think or things that would make me look tentative.
Right. Now I'll never let anyone think that I'm not taking advantage of opportunities.
Everybody has things that they need to work on, and I think that will never, ever stop.
And you have to be really
gotta do
strong from inside and just realize they wouldn't give you this feedback if they didn't see the potential and they didn't care.
Research has shown that your mindset is critical to your development. Some people have a fixed mindset. They think, I can't change. This is how I am. A more successful approach is to have a growth mindset and to be aware. Ask for feedback. Watch your emotions. Ask questions to clarify. Reach out for different perspectives. Engage your potential. Asking for feedback is a great way to deepen your relationships, and it demonstrates a commitment to your development. Feedback is a gift. Make sure you give and get what you need.